Hi, this is Dr. Pieczenik, and I want to talk about how many of us who were not identified, have been involved in a psyops or a soft coup where Nancy Pelosi is entering a death knell along with her Democratic Party. That was not done by accident. What we depended on was the fact that Trump would be Trump. He would be mercurial, he'd be confrontational, he would be boisterous, self aggrandizing. That's Trump. We didn't have a problem with that. But in turn, we allowed her to go into a confrontational mode with Trump, which was a very big mistake on her part, because I had hoped she would understand that she internally had the better dynamics and could understand how to control herself, not to get in a confrontational mode, not to get in any way angry with him, because that would only fuel the fire on the side of Trump. What she did was exactly what we had expected. She came back, mirrored Trump's dynamics, and that's called a mirror imaging in psyops, went back, made the impeachment, which has no validity whatsoever. It's just an incredibly expensive process, and made that process open, made it grandiose, and self-aggrandized herself. So what she did was, as a result of a confrontation with Trump, she went on the Stephen Colbert show, made a fool of herself, and tried to explain to the public that she understood the difference between a democracy and republic, when I in fact told her that she really didn't understand, that she wasn't representing a democracy, she was representing a republic. But you don't go to the Stephen Colbert show. That denigrates you. In turn, she brought forth people who had no credibility. James Clapper, pathological liar. Brennan, pathological liar. Susan Rice, a complete coward who was never involved and didn't intervene when 1 million Tutsis were killed by the French. So what we had was an exposure of the foibles of the Democratic Party. In turn, what happened is Biden was knocked out of the race, thanks to what we said a couple of weeks ago, that he had Alzheimer's. He couldn't remember anything, and now he's really behind the 8 ball. Who's in the front line? Bernie Sanders, a man who has a heart attack and espouses transgender voting rights. And who else is in the front? Warren, who wants to have a $27 trillion Medicare program, all of which is, of course, is absurd. So there's no one who's going to be a valid candidate. And in turn, what happens, the Gang of Four sits by the side, laughing, saying, okay, we have our turn, but this will be the end of Nancy Pelosi. It's a sad, sad comment on a woman who was very effective in the past, but really didn't understand the dynamics of confrontation, the dynamics of manipulation, the dynamics of what happens when you have an adversary that you really do not understand, and in turn you mirror his dynamics. Let me say this. In the old days, the Democrats had what was called the Waxman machinery, an incredibly effective machinery run by Henry Waxman, who did pass more important legislation like anti-smoking, anti-nicotine, Clear Air Act, cigarettes. He in turn understood how to create a coalition and effectively avoid confrontation when he didn't have it and when he didn't need it. This has been gone by the wayside. Schiff took over for Waxman and others, and what happened is that Schiff really was not equipped to handle anything that was very sophisticated. And in turn, what happened in this process is that we're looking at a process that's costing us hundreds of millions of dollars. We're juxtaposed to a fire, which we did not create, but unfortunately has existed in California, where 25 million people are red flagged and are really in danger of losing their lives and their homes. And Nancy has done nothing about it. Molière, the famous writer, said the following: he or she, like Nancy Pelosi, who loves all of mankind, loves no mankind. And let me say something about the psyops that I do. In the world of psychological operations, delay is denial. So this is the end of Nancy Pelosi and pretty much the end of the Democratic Party. Sorry, good night, and good luck.